is going on, everyone? And this game just keeps on giving, doesn't it? Yes, today I'm coming right at you with a real unique idea that is going to be to rank all of the Wave 2 DLC tracks from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's Booster Course Pass, because no one on the internet has done that so far. Unlike the rest of the internet, I'm going to be doing this in a different way. I'll be doing it the same way as I did in Wave 1. We're going to discuss the music, track design, and give my overall opinions and add all the extras to rank it in the tier list. If you want to see the ranking of the Wave 1 tracks and want to hear the reasoning, the link to that video is down in the description below. Anyways, we've got 8 tracks waiting for us, so let's just jump right into the action, shall we? So we're starting things out with New York Minute, which is another Tour City track, and this is actually an interesting one, because this is going to be the only one in the ranking series that I've actually played, which was, I'm pretty sure, the first ever city track in Mario Kart Tour. And I was kind of indifferent to it when it first came out, and right now I find it kind of okay. Let's just get into the track design, as you start out by going through Central Park, getting in a nice few drifts. My main issue with this part is that if you go onto the grass for like a little bit, Mach 2 already grabs you for some reason, kind of strange. Then you get a few little areas which you can go into with a few different routes you could take, including a water pipe, you can glide, you can also just drift through different streets. It's kind of cool, reminiscent of New York. There are a few taxis in there, and that's pretty much it for lap 1. For lap 2, you actually go to the left and go via Central Park once again, but then in a different route, then backwards. And on lap 3, you go through like a parking lot. It's not that big of a lap 3, and there's only really like a one shortcut. I I was about to say love, but the remix is fine. It's not my favorite track in the Wave or in Mario Kart, but it ain't bad. New York Minute just kind of feels like more of Tokyo Blur to me, but then a little more interesting, and it feels more like New York with like all those different streets I mentioned before. At like lap 1, you could take 3 different routes via different streets. In lap 2, there are 2. It's just a fun time. You can luckily drift through it. But personally, I don't find this track like amazing or offensive. I'm kind of indifferent to it, which is why I'm going to put it in the B tier, because New York Minute is New York Minute. Up next, we're tackling the first remade SNES track in the Booster Course Pass, which is going to be SNES Mario Circuit 3. And I gotta say, this is probably the track I hate the most in the entire game. Why? Its inclusion is so weird to me. It is... Why is this track here? Why is it here? It already got remade in Mario Kart Wii. It was already in Mario Kart Super Circuit, and Mario Circuit types from SNES are not the most interesting. And why do 3 again? It's such a weird inclusion to me. Like, I am not offended by SNES tracks in general. SNES Rainbow Road is not my favorite Rainbow Road, but it's a fine track, one of the best of Super Mario Kart. Donut Plains 3 is actually one of my favorite tracks in this game, because it actually feels like a Mario Kart 8 Deluxe track with you going underwater, the slippery roads and everything. Mario Circuit 3 says F it, and I'm not gonna do any of that because it's just Mario Circuit 3. You just drive around. There's no anti-gravity, there's no gliding, there's no water. Like, a lot of criticism for Wave 1 DLC was that it didn't feel like most of those tracks were from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And I gotta say, at least for those, like, the track design at least was good. So it kind of complemented it here and there, and some of them were kind of crazy, like Ninja Hideaway, where you could definitely tell that there were great intentions. Mario Circuit 3, I hate this track. I hate it with a passion. It is not one of my favorites. Also, it suffers from something I like to call the dry desert syndrome, aka, at least for like half the track, the first half and the second half, you could just have a few mushrooms and you could skip so much. You can skip so much terrain. I've had a few races where I went from 11th to 2nd with a few turns. It is ridiculous, and I do not like this track at all. It is even worse than Toad Circuit in my opinion. Straight to D tier. Now that that's out of the way, we can finally move on to N64's Calamari Desert. And I'm happy to report that I actually really like this edition. In Mario Kart 7 and in Mario Kart 64, the 3 regular laps, it was okay. It felt like a desert with a train in it, which is pretty much the track. But what I mean by that is it felt kind of barren. There were a few ramps here and there, yes, but There was no place to do tricks off of or like get some good turns in. Yes, there were a few ramps obviously for tricks, but it wasn't like it felt like they were just put there just to put them there. It felt a bit meh. I didn't really thought this track was amazing or bad, but I was kind of indifferent to it. But I'm happy to say that in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe they actually changed it, because something I did not know is that in Mario Kart Tour they added a version of Calamari Desert called Calamari Desert 2, in which you actually go through the tunnel. In Mario Kart 64 you were able to do this to get a super special item box. In Mario Kart 7 you couldn't go to it, and neither could you in Mario Kart Tour Calamari Desert 1 then obviously. But in this game you drive through the first lap as regular Calamari Desert, and then when you're on lap 2 you will go on a trick ramp from Mario Kart Tour, which will lead you to the train tracks where you're going to find the train, and it's actually going to be coming your way, so you really need to watch out for it. And once you go into the tunnel, that ends lap 2, which is pretty fun, and then you're still going to be on the tracks at the start of lap 3. But slowly but surely you're going to make your way back to the end of lap 1, where you're going to finish up where you started from. So it's not too different like the tour tracks usually are, like going backwards and stuff, but I love this change. It makes the track so much more interesting. Really love the remix as well, by the way. I forgot to mention now the last one, but the remix of Mario Circuit 3 was also just nothing, and you're hearing now in this version a bit of in the background, which is just weird. At least for Calamari Desert they made a fantastic remix. Really love the change they actually gave to the track, and I was not expecting them to actually implement it. When I heard of like Calamari Desert 2, I was like, it would be cool, and I feel like its execution was pretty good. Although I feel like if they did it as like the middle part where you still have to do like another lap afterwards would be better, because now it feels a little too short maybe. That could have been better, but I'm definitely going to put Calamari Desert in an 80. Waluigi time, because it is time for Waluigi Pinball, the track everybody waited on. Everybody wanted this track. Everyone, their mom was like, oh, Nintendo, please give me Waluigi Pinball, I need it. And Nintendo delivered, because Waluigi Pinball is finally a Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, finally on a home console, and I'm happy to report that this is probably the best version of this track yet. Unfortunately, they did not include anti-gravity, but all of the sections they could improve on, they did. Let's just jump into the track. It's still Waluigi Pinball. There's nothing more to say. It's the same as in 7 and in Mario Kart DS. It is amazing. The opening part is once again a glider section, which is cool. They kept the sound effect for the beginning part. Same for the item boxes, same for when you go to the next lap. It is amazing. Love that fact. You can drift really nicely on this track. It's actually one of the tracks which like makes use of the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe drifting the most, which is really nice and really cool to see. You can still do tricks. You're still there with the pinball. Not a lot changed, but what did need to be changed about Waluigi Pinball, you know? It is still amazing. My one gripe with it though is the music. They could have changed it. I know it's the same song in DS, but that was back in Mario Kart DS, and with storage, it's just way smaller than Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And the excuse of, you know, the track is already there, might as well just reuse it. It comes across as a little lazy after we got some fantastic remixes in Wave 1, and even so far already Calamari Desert, another one that I'm going to mention in a bit. It felt like a little bit lazy, but there is nothing else for me to do than give this track an S tier. There is no way I can't give this an S tier. I know a remix could still be cool, but hey, it is what it is. Waluigi Pinball goes into S tier. Speaking of which, they might be able to patch in some of those music tracks, as Nintendo actually had patch notes for Mario Kart for once, as they changed 3 things. They changed out that the mud on Choco Mountain is actually mud, kind of like how it's supposed to be with the mud texture over at your tires, which was pretty cool. They changed the cars with Coconut Mullet, they actually move. In time trials they still don't, so they didn't have to change that up, which was a really smart move on their end. And item boxes respawn a lot faster, which is just fantastic, because I've had numerous races where I just drove past item boxes, I couldn't get any because people in front got them before me, which is amazing. Thank you, Nintendo. And let's move on to the Propeller Mushroom Cup. Alright, on to the next cup. We're just going to start off with a banger, Sydney Sprint. Well, City Sprint is one of the best tracks I might have actually ever experienced. First of all, can we just talk about the music? The saxophone guy is my favorite Mario character at this point. I've already mentioned it numerous times on stream, but it is fantastic. I loved it so much. They had so much potential for this remix, and they made it count. Let's actually get into the track though, as you start out with by going through the Opera House, which was kind of weird to have 2D textures, not 3D textures that have been seen a whole lot. But hey, you glide down, they take a nice turn, go over the bridge. That pretty much ends off lap 1 with a few turns. Second lap, you go over a boat and you just drift a whole lot and get back on the bridge from lap 1. But this time around on the other side, which means you can do tricks off of the thing you saw before, which is one of the most exhilarating and fun things to do. After that, you take another glider section backwards to the finish lap. As you headed to lap 3, which is pretty much the same as lap 2, you go backwards over the bridge, go back through the Opera House from lap 1 backwards, and finish off the race like that. It is a crisscross. The first time I played it, I was unable to play this track at all. It is very confusing. It's not like Tokyo Blur, like one lap you go to the left, then you go to the left right, then you go to the right. It is so different. It is fantastic. It is exhilarating. There's a lot of stuff going on. The music makes it feel like you're going insane. This track is just amazing. It is one of my favorite tracks in all of Mario Kart, and this is going straight into S tier. Nintendo, I hope the next city tracks are going to be as good as City Sprint. Up next is Snowland, and I know I just pooped all over Mario Circuit 3, but damn, this is why, because Snowland shows us yet again that Nintendo can take an old track and make it a banger. Snowland has never been remade, just like Ribbon Road, Cheeseland, Mario Circuit 3, Skygarden already was, but they're all such good remakes in this game. Skygarden may be a little too short, but outside of that, it's fantastic. Snowland has been elevated, penguins are still running around, there's so much turning. This is, by the way, the second ice track in this game behind the GameCube Snowland. I forgot what it was called, but that was the only ice track before this one, and this is a banger. The graphics are even good on this one. This one feels like it's straight out of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. The music is a banger. It is just really good. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan of the ice tracks though, and yeah, that kind of takes it away. But outside of that, this is how you do a remake. Even the length is good compared to Skygarden. There are quite a few shortcuts, which I really like. I'm really struggling to say something I don't like. This is, by the way, the reason why I don't like Mario Circuit 3, because there's so much potential. Look at Snowland. I know GBA is as simple and easy as SNES, but why does Mario Circuit 3 exist as Mario Circuit 3 and Snowland exists now as a banner of a track? Snowland is fantastic. The penguins are amazing. My only gripe is also that, yeah, the track doesn't feel too big. It doesn't feel good to play on it with 12 players, which is kind of a bad one in my opinion. At least to me personally, it feels like that because the road isn't like big enough, at least near the beginning. Near the end, it fixes it up a bit. But I'm going to put this track in A because Snowland is a fun time. It's a Snowland. It's a magical Snowland. Up next is Mushroom Gorge, and Mushroom Gorge is still amazing. It feels like it's just straight ripped out of Mario Kart Wii and put in this game, even including the shortcuts. Yes, we haven't gotten to the track yet, and it's amazing. It starts out with a few mushroom jumps as per usual in the Wii version, and then you go into a cave, and you do a whole bunch of them, and that is pretty much the end of the track. It's not the biggest, it's not the most exciting, it was in the Mushroom Cup, but a lot of people really like this track, and I can definitely see why. They actually brought back the skip you can do at the beginning with the 2 mushrooms, which is crazy because it got cut in both Mario Kart 7's remake and in Mario Kart Tour. And also the gap jump, even on 150cc. It is amazing. I had no idea Nintendo wanted to do something like that. In the base game, they would have definitely not brought those back. But I guess they were like, hey, they're fan favorites, might as well do it. It's just a good track. One big question I've got on my mind though is why did they not remake the music? It is weird. It is one of the biggest anomalies and like biggest mistakes. biggest questions I have with the booster course pass is pretty much why are there no new remixes for Mario Circuit 3, Luigi Pinball, Mushroom Gorge? It is weird. I don't like it because you go to one stage where you have like this big band and you just go to Mushroom Gorge where it's just, you know, MIDI. It's just, it doesn't feel right. Aside that, the like track itself, it looks pretty good as well. And Mushroom Gorge also fits the physics of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe better than I thought. It's not perfect. It will never be as perfect as the Wii one because you don't really bounce the same way. But they did what they could with the physics, and I really think they did a good job with what they could. This one's going to go straight into A tier. And finally, to wrap things up, we've got Sky High Sunday, which is a brand new track which first came out in Booster Course Pass and not in Mario Kart Tour because it came out in Mario Kart Tour a few days later in the Sky High Sunday Tour or whatever it's called. And I gotta be honest, I'm not a fan. No, I've seen some mixed opinions about this track, and it's Fall Guys Mario Kart. It is Mario Kart Fall Guys. The music sounds oddly familiar to it. The stage looks really familiar to it. But it's not as fun as Fall Guys, because this track feels kind of boring. You start out by gliding downwards. You can either go for the ice cream cone to get an extra item box or just go down. But this gliding section feels super weird to me. Usually you've got control, but if you go a little bit downwards right here, and don't just let it be like how it's usually supposed to be, then for some reason you just plummet to your death. It is really weird, really strange. Kind of a weird beginning. After that you go on a grind rails, and I forgot to mention actually that this track features anti-gravity, but they don't really include the usual blue booster thingies. No, the railings are, they give you boosts. It is weird. It does not look right in terms of the textures. Maybe a cool indication or a unique design would have been good for these, but I guess they got lazy, which is, I guess, okay. You just do more jumps, you fly through the air, and that is pretty much it. It is round just like Excite Bike Arena and Baby Park. It just kind of feels like that. It feels like Sky High Excite Bike Arena. It does. It's just like the track and its design feel like Sweet Sweet Canyon, but then the track design itself is Excite Bike Arena. It feels disappointing after Nintendo hypes it up so much. And also another thing, like they might have included anti-gravity here, which is the first DLC track to do so. It's for the entire stage. And I don't think it suits this stage really well because of it, you like float a lot through the air, and I feel like this stage would be a lot more fun if you didn't. It was probably there to differentiate itself though from Excite Bike Arena, but it's all good. At least the stage looks fine. It really makes me hungry, a lot more than Sweet Sweet Canyon actually. Although the theming could have been taken a little further, I feel like, and the track feels a little short. Could definitely be longer. But it's fun, it's fine, it's not offensive, like it's not great, but it's also not terrible like Toad Circuit or Mario Circuit 3. It's just there. Could have been better for like a new track, but hey, maybe we'll get some better new tracks in the future. For now though, Sky High Sunday goes into the C tier. And so that's it. Here's the final ranking. What do you think? Do you agree with my tier list? If you do or don't do, let me know in the comment section down below this video. Let me know what I messed up. Let me know what you think were some of the best or worst tracks and where you would rank them of the Booster Course Pass Wave 2. Because I'd love to hear some feedback from it, because everybody has their own opinions on Mario Kart tracks, of course. Anywho, that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope to catch you all next time. Goodbye.